Hello, this is Andreas from Nordic Tarot, and I've got 3 readings for you for the last 2 weeks of September. Please remember that even the 2 more specific readings, the love and the work reading, they are still general. So if they do not resonate, I'm sorry, but hopefully at least one of the 3 will. And you'll find more information about how to contact me and on the decks I'm using in the description. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy your readings. Hey Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising, what's going on with you? Actually, maybe I should be the one answering that question. I've been looking over your readings, and I think there's a lot of potential here for you. I think there are some nice energies, some tougher energies, but I think there is a lot of potential for you to do something here. And the oracle card I pulled for you is number 50, No Place Like Home. The essential meanings are authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. And the oracle's message is, home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity. Aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here, in the house of your spirit and spirit. And yeah, I feel like you have the opportunity here for a really strong new beginning of something, because you have the Fool, and actually a lot of signs have been getting the Fool. I think this is the 3rd or the 4th Fool I've pulled. And there is this aspect of a new beginning, taking a leap of faith, and I feel the leap of faith aspect of the Fool is quite important. Because you do have the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords can be about being stuck in your own head. Because look at this woman, she's blindfolded and she's in a circle of swords. And this, from this we can kind of imply that she does not know how to maneuver or how to move, or where to move, or what to do, because she might get cut. Like, it's a very scary position to be in. But what the Fool is saying is that there is this excitement to it, like, well, I don't know what's around the next corner or over that hill, but I won't find out unless I go there and find out, right? And it's kind of this taking that leap of faith, or beginning that new adventure, that new journey, despite not knowing, despite being afraid, or despite feeling uncomfortable about it. And to kind of back this up, you do have the Magician, and the Magician, he's a master manifester, and he has all the tools he needs to create what he wants, or to get what he wants, to manifest what he wants. He has, a wand, a pentacle, a cup, and a sword. So he has all these, all the energies of all the suits, and he can manipulate energies very well. I feel like you have the opportunity here for a new beginning, and, with the No Place Like Home kind of thing, like, you have this opportunity to be more at ease in yourself, or like feeling like you fit in. And maybe this is just like all within you, right? Because this is I feel like No Place Like Home is very spiritual, because it is like an inner journey. Because the Fool might be on a journey physically, like traveling somewhere, or like, oh, I'm gonna go backpacking or something, and that's the like leap of faith, the journey, and not really knowing what's gonna happen until they arrive. And don't misunderstand me, because I understand that the 8 of Swords, I'm not trying to minimize or marginalize the 8 of Swords kind of heavy energy at all. I understand that it's very difficult, but I feel like the cards are kind of saying, like, you got this. Like, you are able to do these things, and you could do them. And yes, when you don't know how to move or maneuver, and you don't know what's going to happen, that can be very, you feel like you aren't really in control. But the Fool is in control in a different way, where they kind of acknowledge that, yes, that it is very scary with taking a leap of faith or beginning this new journey, because they don't know what's out there. And they kind of say, like, well, I don't know, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm not going to let this thing dictate what I do or don't do, right? And like I said, you do have the Magician there backing this up. Like, I just feel like you have this like fantastic potential here to, like, what the oracle message says, solidify within yourself and be more comfortable within yourself. And the love reading, the relationship message is, lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be secure in the knowledge that it is reciprocated. Relationships elicit a sense of emotional safety, comfort, and the best aspect of familiarity right now. Be home in this relationship. Together you add to the love of the world. Now you got some... I feel like you have been, or you are in a quite difficult place here with the Four of Cups. And I'm going to reference the Rider-Waite deck, which is the original deck that I and I think a lot of people first learned the tarot with. Because in the original Rider-Waite deck, the Four of Cups, the depiction on the card is a man sitting under a tree, and he's very intent or focused on the four cups or the three cups, sorry, that he has in front of him. And it's understandable if you're so very focused on what it is you have, or maybe those three cups are kind of the concept of this is all I have and I don't think that's enough and I want more. You know, those three cups can be talking about different things like that, but the four cups can also be about apathy, of not feeling, I don't have the energy, or I don't care, or whatever, nothing matters because what's the point, right? That kind of way of feeling about things. But because this person feels so stuck and he's so intent on the things that he has, or rather, it's not so intent on what he has, but it's more of a feeling like, this is just what I have. I want more than this. And because he's so focused on what he has, or rather what he doesn't have, he then is running into the situation where he's not acknowledging, or he can't see that something in the periphery is being offered to him, the fourth cup, you know, the continuation of his cup's journey. Because he's so focused on these three cups, you kind of, I suppose you run the risk of potentially missing out on things that might be in the periphery. You might not acknowledge something as much or at all because you are so intent on these things that bother you. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't bother you, or you should just just forget it, don't worry about it. But it's just that sometimes we are so focused on the things we don't have, or how we are not content with how things are, that we, you know, like I said, we might run the risk of missing things that are more in the periphery, that we aren't so, or, you know, we aren't looking for something new. We just know that we're missing that thing, right? I hope that makes sense. Goodness me. But what you have as, I kind of feel like it's an advice, or like this is an opportunity for you to change how you see things here with the Hanged Man, because the Hanged Man is someone, like in the card, this is a man who's hung himself upside down on purpose to get a different perspective on things. And this card, yes, it is kind of a waiting kind of energy, but this is someone waiting on enlightenment. This is someone who has hung themselves upside down, and they're like looking for answers, or waiting to receive answers or information or some kind of enlightenment or a change of perspective, so that they can take what they learn and move on. And I feel like maybe that's what the Justice card is, because the Justice card can be, you know, it can be just justice being meted out about a situation. Maybe you felt like you've been wronged in some way, but it can be, you know, that you get news of a decision, or you get an apology, or maybe you're making an apology. You know, it can be about contracts and divorces and all these things. But I feel like that is some kind of information. That's something that's happening to come in. Like maybe that's what the Hanged Man is being provided by Justice. And I feel like with the Four Cups, the Hanged Man is a pretty good card to get with it. Like, oh, I'm in this situation and I feel stuck and I don't know what to do. But then with the Hanged Man, a new perspective and maybe some information that you can wait on to come in, or you can gather the information yourself. And I just feel like it's kind of, I don't know, to me it just feels like someone getting pulled up out of a hole. Like, if you feel like you've been in a rut recently, then this can be, it just feels like an opportunity to get out of a perspective that's been bothering you. And I feel like Justice is there to like help you out. Like maybe there's some message coming in here with like I said, with a decision or an apology about something. Now, which way the message is going, or the decision or the apology, I'm not sure, but I would say it's more so that you're receiving something from someone else with the Hanged Man. To cap this off with the work reading, the prosperity message is, when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. I feel like things can maybe like really start to pick up for you here, Aries. With the Eight of Wands, it's a card that speaks of really fast energy. And one of the challenges with the Eight of Wands can be like not getting swept away by how fast the energy moves. But this is a card that speaks of fast communication. You know, it could be over the internet with emails or text messaging or instant messaging. But it's also very fast information. So there can be an exchange of information between people, or you're gathering a bunch of information about what's going on. But it's very clear information, I want to say. Like the messages are clear and the information is clear. It's not very muddled up. Because as you can see in the card as well, all the wands are traveling parallel to each other, and there's enough space between them so you see all of them. And yeah, I just feel like there's this opportunity here because you also have the Ten of Cups, which is like emotional fulfillment. It's, it can be happily ever after, it can be a fairy tale ending. The Ten of Cups is just generally a very nice card. And all the cards serve us in a different way. Like, we might view one card as very negative, but I feel like all the cards are neutral. It all depends on your situation and what you're feeling, right? But the Ten of Cups, and again in the original Rider-Waite deck, the Ten of Cups depicts, well, what I think is a family, but it can just be like a group of people. So maybe you've been working together with other people at work on a project, and this can be like how you guys feel about this. Like maybe you all feel very accomplished, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. This can just, like, if you're self-employed or you work alone, like this can still apply to you, of course. Now, the most important card here, or the card that's very much connected to No Place Like Home, is the Nine of Wands, at least to me. Because where the prosperity message mentions radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, I feel like that is kind of speaking to the Nine of Wands, because the Nine of Wands, in the Wands journey, I feel like the Nine of Wands is where doubts start to come in. Like, why am I doing this? I've been doing this for so long, why did I even start this? What's the point? And I understand, like, if you're at the 9 out of 10, I can understand if you've come, it's possible that you've lost sight of why you started to begin with. Like, what was that initial spark? Like, is it important for you to remind yourself of why did I start this in the first place? And another very important aspect to the Nine of Wands is to remember that it's a 9 out of 10, so you're almost at the end. You've almost finished something. And the Nine of Wands, I never feel like this, oh, you're about to give up, or you don't want to do this anymore. But you might feel like that, but it doesn't jump out at me saying that, oh, this person's ready to give up. But I do understand if it's really tough right now, because you have been doing this for such a long time. And once again, I'm going to reference the Rider-Waite deck. That deck depicts a man standing in front of all these wands, and he's leaning on one of them, and he has a bandage around his head, so it just looks like he's like battered and bruised and tired, and he's done this for a long time. And sometimes he just kind of looks like, oh god, I'm so done with this, I just don't know what I'm doing here. But he's still there, he's still doing it. And of course, you don't have to do it. You don't have to quit. You don't have to keep going. You can do whatever you want because you have free will, right? So it's all up to you. But just remember that you are very close to the end of a cycle here. And with the Eight of Wands, it's also moving quite fast. So maybe, the end is going to come sooner than you think. I just think it's important to remember that. And, it's some important stuff to ask yourself. Like, why did I start this to begin with? What was I so passionate about when this started? That might be helpful to keep you on the path if that's what you want to do. I don't know, just something to ask yourself. Thank you so much for watching my video. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you need more information about the decks I use or how to contact me, you'll find it in the description below. And I do hope that at least one of these readings resonated with you and you got some kind of message from it. And I hope everything finds you well until next time.